Hi guys, and welcome to personally my most anticipated reading vlog of my entire lifetime. I have been waiting months to do this. If you're like a newbie or if you're like a veteran on the book side of the internet, doesn't matter where you came from, be it booktube, bookstagram, booktalk, literally anywhere, there's been this one name that's been floating around constantly because she is considered the queen of the book side of the internet. Anything book related, you will hear Miss Emily Henry coming up. And so in today's reading vlog, I'm essentially going to be reading her entire backlist because I have it right in front of me. I'm personally ready to get my heart shattered because I've heard that Miss Emily Henry's books are a hopeless romantic's dream. That is me. I'm probably the world's biggest hopeless romantic, so it's time to kind of get into these books, see what the hype is about, see if it's worth the hype, and kind of talk to you guys about it because I have been waiting for so long. The time has finally come. Let's directly get into it. For anyone who cares, I'm essentially going to be reading these books in publication order in this form because I've heard there's Easter eggs in it, and if you want the full experience out of it, you should read it this way. But as far as I can tell, there is no specific order. So you can read them anyhow as standalone rom-coms if you want to, but also as far as I can tell, they're more women's fiction with a romance subplot. So let's get into it. Let's start psychoanalyzing them completely from the perspective of a hopeless romantic because I have been waiting. Like I said, I want to get my heart shattered and then I want to find new favorite book boyfriends ever, and I know this is going to do it for me. So I'm going to pick the first one up in publication order. It's Beach Read. Let's start with it. I'll see you guys in a little bit with more updates and thoughts on it, get some progress in, and I'm so excited. The week has finally come. This week is probably going to be the best week of my life. The Book Talk girlies, I'm so excited to be in their book club now because Emily Henry, she is the queen. Let's just finally get into her work because it is time. Hi guys, it's the next afternoon since the last time I spoke to you. I have gone ahead and started my reread of Beach Read. Before anything, let's just talk about the curtain in the background. I know it's down, I know it's bright outside, it's literally afternoon. It's going back up as soon as I'm done recording this video clip because I didn't want it to be backlit or whatever. And apart from that, I have gone ahead and continued reading this. I have 40 pages left on my reread, but I've stopped here now to come speak to you, give you my thoughts on it before I go break my heart over the last bit. Also, these bookmarks that you notice sticking out of the book, ignore them. I'm using them to mark like my favorite quotes because I don't annotate generally, and I want to speak about this video in like a YouTube short. So unless I chicken out, you're going to be seeing a video of me talking about this book separately. But regardless of that, I have gone ahead, started my reread because let's be real, I have read this last year, but I knew I wanted to reread it now to get like a fresher on things, to kind of be back in the Emily Henry world before I start reading the rest of her backlist for the first time ever. This was such a great option. This was such a great choice because me personally, I know I loved it the first time around. This is one of my got-to-her books and I don't know why I never got to her backlist since. But rereading this now, rereading your favorite books just hits different, and I feel like I'm getting the whole spectrum of emotions like so much better than the first time I got it. I feel like I'm more immersed and I'm more, I guess, well connected to the story. Not to say I didn't like it the first time around, I really loved it, but now I feel like I'm connecting to it on like a more soul deep level. Essentially, this book follows January and Gus. January, the thing with her is her dad passes away. He leaves her this beach house and she has no choice but to go and live there because she is like a broke, struggling writer. She's got writer's block. She needs a book written and she doesn't have any, so she's run out of money, and it's kind of traumatizing, the whole situation with the house, but she goes to live there anyway. And her next door neighbor is Gus Everett. In college, he was like her number one nemesis or whatever, and so they hate each other apparently, but then as they get to talking, they get to meeting around, they kind of come up with this deal. Since both of them are struggling writers with writer's block, they're gonna try to swap each other's genres, and whoever writes a book first can win. So Gus writes literary fiction, January writes romance. They're gonna swap, wherein Gus is now writing romance and January is gonna write literary fiction and kind of go along with it, and whoever writes the book first kind of wins the challenge to kind of get over the whole college nemesis part, except gonna be taking each other on expeditions separately to kind of teach each other how to write the genre. So January is gonna teach him how to write romance, Gus is gonna teach her how to write literary fiction, and as they're doing that, the deal is kind of not to fall in love, except we all know how such stories go. Except we don't know how this one goes because Emily Henry the way she's done this book honestly is unmatched. I have read 600 books in my lifetime, and I have come to terms with the fact that I will never read anything like this book in my life again. If you've heard that one quote, "When I watch you sleep, I feel overwhelmed that you exist," it came from here for good reason. I haven't reached the bit yet, but I know it comes from here. So excited to get to that, because I'm telling you, their romance, their tension, and their banter is so good, but it's a subplot in January's life, because you are essentially following her as a character, kind of navigating a bunch of circumstances, trying to grapple with what's going on, change in her life that she didn't expect, because she has such like solid foundations of like love and like ideals and stuff, and all of that is broken because of something at the beginning. And so as she's changing and building up, kind of growing as a character in that, kind of learning to re-navigate and reconfigure herself, the romance comes into play. And while it isn't like the main plot, sometimes it feels like it, because the way it's handled, it's the perfect balance. It is for good reason the best book I will ever read in my lifetime. I have already come to terms with that fact, like I said, and more people need to read this, because I'm not gatekeeping. I just need more people to read this so we can talk about it. Currently trying to convince my cousin and my mom to read this so I have more people to speak to about it, because this is the book. I feel like it's so perfectly handled, and even though it's set during summertime, it's my comfort read, so I'll recommend it any season of the year. And not just that, the themes in this book are so interesting, in the sense that when this book finds you, it really needs to find you at the right time in your life for you to be able to have a good time with it, because it's not the basic run-of-the-mill romance that you can read at any point. It's got so many other things going on in it. It's got her grappling with family issues, her trying to figure out how she gets the book done because she's got financial crisis, she trying to deal with her grief with losing her father, and then finding someone new, finding Gus, except there's other things going on, relationships and friendships and family, and like the way it's handled, there's truly nothing like it. Honestly, this is the best book ever. I cannot recommend it enough. I need this to be injected in the form of an IV drip and poured into my little bloodstream, because that's how badly I need to consume this book. And I'm rereading it again this year. I love how I'm already coming up with plans to reread it as I'm currently rereading it, but that's how good this book is. And I do have plans to take it on me later for vacation when I head out, during the summertime, because this is the kind of book I want to be rereading like literally every single month. And it's crazy, because then when I reread it over the summertime again, that's going to be my third time rereading this book over the span of 1 year, and that already says a lot. Again, if I get that short recorded, you will see my favorite lines in this book. You will see why you should read it, more of like a marketing campaign I'm launching so more people pick up my favorite book. But apart from that, if that happens, we shall see. Regardless, I'm gonna finish it out now, because I'm ready to get my heart broken. The last 40 pages are gonna kill me. The first time I read it, I knew I cried. I'm gonna bawl my eyes out again, and this is the kind of book you're giggling one page and you're sobbing so violently the next. But I'm ready for Emily Henry to rip my heart out. She's the only person I'd let do that to me anyway, so I'm gonna go finish this book out. I'll speak to you soon, but so far there's no new thoughts I have in addition to my first time reading it. I just feel the same way and even better, because this book just gets better with every read for me. It's like good wine. I'm having a great time. I'm gonna go finish it. Honestly, so ready to get shattered, but also I'm looking forward to it. So I'll finish this out, and then we'll pick up our next book on the backlist, which is People We Meet on Vacation. So I'll see you guys in a bit for that, and yeah, wish me luck. Bye. Welcome to take 2 of me coming in trying to speak about Beach Read. It's now the next afternoon. I actually finished this last evening, and I did come yesterday in the night to come speak about this, but I'm going to scrap that clip, because it was me coming and speaking at nearly 2 in the morning after I really took in and processed everything this book had to offer. And that wasn't the best clip, because I was so out of it at that point that maybe not, so I'm not going to use it. And I did go ahead and record the short for this video, so now I'm really confused on what I've said as a collective for this video, specifically the clips I'm actually using. So you can go look up the short. It has like my favorite quotes and stuff, and I was busy posting that until last night. Some issues came up, so I didn't start the next book, but I'm here again to kind of try to speak about this book, and then we'll start it. This one, like I said, was my reread, and for good reason. I feel like when you reread books you already really love, they hit different the next time around, and this one it hit different in a good way because I felt the whole roster of emotions. I think I may have enjoyed this more than I liked it the first time around, which is saying a lot because it was a 6-star god tier book the first time I read it, and now I literally want this ingrained in every fiber of my being. I want this IV dripped into my bloodstream because it was that good and I loved every second. I feel like this is an emotional wrecking ball, and if you aren't ready for it, maybe don't pick it up because this needs to find you at the right time in your life. It's very heavy on other themes and topics of like family and friendship and love, and then there's grief, and if you aren't ready for it, you won't like it very much. I've seen the reviews online and people either really love it or really hate it, so it's very much on opposite ends of the spectrum. So I'm not necessarily forcing you to read it. If you can and if you feel like it's a good time for you, definitely pick it up because this is the book. I've read 600 in my lifetime. This is my solo chant dialogue that I've been saying every single time, and this book, there'll never be anything like it again. Already come to terms with that fact. So I'm obsessed. I can't wait to go ahead and reread this again because I've already made plans to do so this summer when I go on vacation, taking this everywhere with me. Maybe someday I'll have the guts to actually sit down and annotate it because that would really just make my year. And yeah, reading this book alone, I am so obsessed with Emily Henry. She has such an art of the way she writes, and this has very much put my expectations on top of the hill. So I'm really scared for the rest of the books because I don't know how they'll ever live up and compare to this for me, but we shall see. We'll keep reading. I feel like this was the perfect balance with romance and January's life, navigating a bunch of other things, and this is just the book for me. I can rant about it. I can make a 1-hour speaking video of me just talking about my plus points for this book because this is literally perfect in my eyes. There's nothing wrong with it. I loved every second. Like I said in the short I posted, you're either giggling so hard one minute or the next you're bawling your eyes out, sobbing. It's crazy. It's wild. Nothing has ever made me feel this way. Nothing ever will. And yeah, this is Beach Read. That's my review of it. It's 6 stars yet again. Nothing lower can obviously be rated by me for this book because I want this engraved on my soul. That's my review of it. And now let's move on to the next book. People We Meet on Vacation. This is the next one in publication order. It was published right after Beach Read. So I don't know if it got better than Beach Read because every year she publishes, she's written more. It should be getting better, but at the same time, nothing can ever top Beach Read for me, so we shall see. I'll start reading this. This is my first time reading. All the books from here on out, I'll be reading for the first time with you. I just put my bookmark in this because I wanted my bookmark somewhere, but I haven't started, so I'll start now. And yeah, I was busy posting the short until later last night, which is why I didn't get around to starting it, but we're gonna do so now. And in case anyone's wondering, I have the UK covers of every single book of Emily Henry's except this one. I have the US one because I really like the cover, so got my aunt to get it for me from the US, but now I'm suddenly wondering if I should have just got the UK paperback so it matched my whole set or whatever. So I don't really know, just ignore that for now. But yeah, I've got this. We'll start soon. The best part about US paperbacks are that they are floppy, so this is going to be a fun one to read. And before anything, I have loved this book so much that this is a UK stiff paperback, but it's so floppy at this point without even cracking the spine that it just shows I'm obsessed with it and I keep looking back on quotes on it. So whatever, I'm going to cut this clip short now. I'm going to start reading People We Meet on Vacation. Don't know anything about it. I just see one thing on the cover that really matters to me, Emily Henry. So I'll start it and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. It's been many hours later since the last time I spoke to you. It's later in the evening now, but I'm here to give you a People We Meet on Vacation update because I have started the book. I'm about 8 chapters through, 70 pages in, which is crazy because I'm a slower reader, but I'm eating every second of this book up. That's my progress. And I will say I was scared going into this after the high Beach Read gave me because literally nothing is ever going to compare to that, let's be real. But people online don't really like this book as much as they like her other work. They don't really say it compares or whatever. So I went into this specifically with lower expectations, and maybe that was a good thing because this is living up to every single second of it. I love it. This is one notch below Beach Read for me, but it's still so freaking good. It feels like 5 stars. Honestly, if the way it's going right now at the page 70 count, if it continues that same way, I'm just gonna say it right now, this is gonna be a 5-star book. I love every second. There's so much I want to go back and annotate because honestly, it feels so relatable. It feels like Emily Henry is literally watching me from cameras in my room, and she's like carved out like a hole in my mind and is literally writing down thoughts I've thought before on the paper, and I'm just reading it and I'm like, no freaking way that just happened, because because I have thought about that before. I relate so hard. Also, it's the perfect like emotional balance wherein there's like, you know, fun, happy, giggly banter, and then the next page it feels like a hole is being ripped out of your chest. It's really fun. Honestly, if you have to read it, this is perfect for summertime. This is perfect for whenever. Please pick it up. It follows Poppy and Alex. They're complete opposites, so they have literally nothing in common. Poppy, she loves traveling. She wants to, you know, go see the world. And Alex, he's like a bookworm. He just wants to stay inside and curl up with his book, like you and I. And so she's more reckless. He is more, I guess, reserved and laid back. And so when you look at the two of them, you don't really expect them to be friends, but one day when they're like going carpooling back from college to their hometown because they live in the same place or whatever, they kind of start talking and they start, you know, learning more about each other. Slowly they start becoming best friends, and ever since then they actually take trips together over the summertime for 10 years. So every year or whatever, they go on the summer vacation together, which also contributes to Poppy's job because she works at this travel magazine or whatever, which pays for those trips of hers. And you know, he comes along, they have a good time. Except from what I can tell, 2 years ago something went wrong on a trip, and we don't know what has gone wrong yet. We're still trying to figure that out because it's between past and present summer timeline. And so while you're watching them on these trips together, it's really fun, but something went wrong 2 years ago, and so they aren't speaking to each other anymore. They haven't had contact for years. And you know, out of nowhere one day at her magazine or whatever, someone asks her, when was the last time you were actually truly happy in your life? And you know, Poppy's suddenly thinking back on it, and she's reflecting on the fact that she's achieved all of her career goals, and so because she's achieved it, she doesn't have a sense of longing to reach another goal. She doesn't have anything to look forward to, and so she's just fallen into the dull rhythm of life wherein suddenly nothing's like appealing to her anymore. She's just like sad about it, and she's not hungry for the goal she wants to achieve now because there's no goal to achieve in the first place. So thinking back on it, she remembers the times she took those trips with Alex, and suddenly thinks of how, you know, she was actually truly happy and content then, and she just didn't realize it. And so reflecting on it, she's just like, oh my god, that was the last time I was truly happy, and that was literally years ago. So she, you know, picks up the courage, she starts texting him again. They get back in contact or whatever because it's been 2 years, like I said, they haven't spoken, and they're planning another trip. And except this one's gonna be a week long. They're going to go visit Alex's brother who's getting married, and as they're doing so, Poppy kind of wants to, you know, rekindle their friendship, kind of figure out what went wrong, kind of fix it or whatever, because she doesn't want to lose him as a person. He is someone she's had some of her best memories with, and so she can't let that go. And as you know, you're going along with them, you're kind of learning more about them, falling in love with the two of them, having such a great time. This book is perfect. I will accept nothing less. If you don't like it, do not tell me, because I don't care. Honestly, it'll hurt me, but also I don't care. This is perfect to me. I'm gonna go keep reading. This is the classic Emily Henry writing style, wherein every single thing I read, every other line honestly, is so hard-hitting and deep. It's cutting to the bone. I'm having such a great time. I don't know why I put off reading this for so long, but now that I'm doing it, I literally cannot tear myself away from it. This is absolute perfection. I'm loving every single second. There's so much I love about this, but I cannot express it because it's like a non-spoiler video. So for now, just know it's great, but I really want to see what went wrong between them, because so far I'm loving both of their characters, and so far, you know, I'm rooting for them. So I hope it doesn't break the book, but also it's Emily Henry, so she's probably just going to do something that breaks my heart rather than the book. So we shall see. I'm going to go keep reading. So far it's a 5-star book, which is crazy. Back-to-backs coming in, but I'll see you guys in a bit with more updates. Truly there's nothing like it. Truly there's nothing in this world like Emily Henry's writing style and the stuff it does to me and my poor little heart. See you guys in a bit. If my poor little heart survived by that point, bye. It's a couple evenings later. I'm very much in a situation where want to read, post to work, because every time I sit down in the past couple days to, you know, get some reading in, read my favorite book literally ever, what happens is that something comes up on like a urgent basis or whatever, so I have to go deal with it, and because of that I haven't had the time to read. So sat down today earlier in the evening, got some reading in, and I don't have any editing later tonight, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of this binged and read out because I'm loving it, and every second I'm spending away from this book is killing me. It's ripping my soul to shreds because this is hitting. It's everything to me. It's everything in a way that has never felt this way, and I'm having the best time of my life. Since the last time I spoke to you, I think I said she's funding the trip on her own budget because her travel magazine doesn't want to fund it or whatever. It's not in their interest, and so because of that she doesn't have the kind of funding she would for the trip, and so she's trying to keep the trip, I guess, like low-key and kind of cheap, because she can't really afford something more expensive and she doesn't want to tell him because she doesn't want Alex to feel like guilty or whatever. And so as that's happening, she's still got this plan wherein she wants it to be the perfect trip, because the first time they ever went on a trip together in the past timeline, it was supposed to be really cheap or whatever because they couldn't afford it. They were working like multiple jobs for it, and so they were literally scrounging on the last dime for it. And so it's very much like a throwback to their bittersweet moments together, but also Poppy wants it to feel perfect because this is probably the last time she's ever going on a trip with him, and so that hurts. And so she wants it to go a certain way, but as you're reading alongside her, you kind of realize that these trips in her mind, they were the way they were not because of the trip, but because they spent it together. So it doesn't matter if they had the trip in the first place, it's just because Alex and Poppy were together that they feel such strong nostalgic reminiscent feelings, I guess. And it's great coming across that. I will say though, this book has my heartstrings literally in claws, because there was this one scene a few pages ago when she got him a sandwich. It's an out of context reference to something else that happens, I won't tell you what. But tell me why I wanted to cry so bad. It's not that deep, but I wanted to cry so bad because of a sandwich. That's a little ridiculous, not even gonna lie. However, I'm having a great time on my read so far. It's the perfect summer vibes. It's the perfect friends to lovers, which is reminding me why this is one of my favorite tropes ever, and I need to read more of it because this is done perfectly. I know there's wedding setting in it, and I eat up books wherein there's like a marriage setting. However, it hasn't come into play yet, but I know it's gonna be incredible because it's Emily Henry regardless. And listen, she's doing such a great job already. I'm having such a great time, and unsurprisingly, because it's Emily Henry, this book is making me believe in the concept of soulmates again. I love every second. I love how they love each other in like this way wherein it's all small bits and it's all small things, but when they add up, you kind of realize it as a reader. They just aren't seeing it as characters, and it's hurting me to know that at some point we're going to figure out what happened to them in the past, because I want to know about it, but at the same time I want them to be happy. Because when you tell me these characters are not real, I'm just gonna be like, what? Because Emily Henry, she has this way wherein she writes her human characters in a sense that they feel very real to you. Like, if you told me any of her characters lived outside of the book, they were real people, and that she, maybe based it off of real living human beings or whatever, I would have literally just believed you, because I'm not even joking. Her characters are, I guess, endearing in a way that, they feel very human to me. I'm not trying to repeat the word human so much, but they feel realistic, because there's certain things I relate to such an extent wherein I can't see them being anything other than human. I can't see them as non-existent, and so that's hurting me a little bit, but I'm having a great time so far. The banter, the tension, the angst is hardly there, but you can still see it because it's still building on that emotional friendship connection, and it's done perfectly. I'm loving the pacing so far. I'm loving everything about it. I would literally sell my soul for these two characters. Just need them to be happy. I'm not even joking. And this book owns my heart at the moment. Literally so hyper fixated. I'm like making playlists and stuff. I'm looking up the aesthetic on Pinterest or whatever. So it's got me good and it's got me hard, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel once I'm done with it. Probably heartbroken, as we all expect, because this is Emily Henry. Already gonna spoil this video for you right now. This book is 5 stars for me. That's it. So I'm gonna go keep reading. I don't think anything's gonna happen that's gonna lower the rating or whatever, but let's hope and pray that nothing happens, because genuinely just need them to be happy and my heart to be in one firm piece. All right, I'm gonna go keep reading now. I'll see you guys in a little bit, maybe after I'm done with the book, because I don't want to keep updating to the point where this video is 1 hour long, even though I would love to yap about these books for an hour long, because trust me, best time of my life. Emily Henry has slowly but surely now become my top author ever. If now in a video I'm ever asked who my #1 favorite author is, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush or whatever and be like, I like everyone. No, it's Emily Henry. We all know it's Emily Henry. Maybe Sarah J Maas as well, but the two of them, top authors, like always and forever, and this is genuinely solidifying that, so I'm having a great time. I'll go continue reading. There was an Easter egg a few pages ago in this book. He's like a bookworm. He was reading an Augustus Everett book, and I just wanted to go in quickly and tell Alex that Gus Everett is my favorite author too, like ever. So having such a great time. I'm so happy I listened to whoever said it online that listen, publication order is the way to go, because I'm loving the Easter eggs. I won't spoil anymore for you, but this is so fun. I'm eating it up, and I'll see you guys in a bit with more progress done hopefully. But yeah, so far so good. Ready to get heartbroken over this, and see you guys in a bit. Bye. Really quickly, it's criminal how she's making me giggle at one point, and then the next page it feels like she's running nails down my little heart and tearing me, because genuinely nothing's ever hurt this way. And I know Beach Read made me feel that, but she's so unique in the way she writes her books. She's my top author. I'm just gonna say it already. She has dethroned whoever else I used to have on there. Emily Henry is now my first favorite author of my entire lifetime, and so Honestly, I will read anything she writes, I don't even care, but the way she does it though needs to be studied scientifically, because genuinely, how has a human come up with something like this that literally makes you feel this way? Like what? It's as I'm reading this that I'm realizing I have never read writing like this. Like Emily Henry is so unique in a sense that she has other plot lines balanced with it. I feel like in Beach Read it was more like a literary women's fiction with themes of grief balanced with the love, and here it's more themes of, I guess, mourning the fact that you lost someone, and once you get them back, trying to figure out how you fix a relationship along with the love. I'm having the best time already. So far, I'm just gonna say it's gonna hit me hard with the emotions. But yeah, that's really just quickly what I wanted to say, because I've never read anything like it. I don't think I ever will. And she's so unique in the sense that I've read so many authors at this point, but no one's made me feel this way. So am I broken, or is she the only author that I actually enjoy reading? But yeah, I'm not being picky for the first time with anything about this. Nothing's giving me the ick. So I'm gonna hold out my hope that everything stays this way, and I'm gonna go keep reading. But this is my Super Bowl at the moment. This is the best time of my life, and so see you guys in a bit with more updates. Hi guys, so it's been like a week and a half since I last came and spoke to you, but it didn't take me all this time to read the book. I actually finished People We Meet on Vacation 2 days after my last clip to you. So it's taken me a week since to come sit down and record something, not because I didn't want to pick up these books or because I didn't want to read them. It's because I've been dying to, but I had like a very busy, hectic week before me, and so there was literally no time to come and read. However, the time has been made now because 2 days ago I finished high school. Still coming to terms with that fact. Really don't know what I'm gonna do right now, but I have a lot of free time with me now. I'm not stressed out, I'm not panicking over certain things, which means I have all the time in the world to read. So first I'm gonna catch you up on my updates for this book, and then we're gonna be binging the next 3 in this video from Emily Henry's backlist, literally in a weekend now, because I want to read them so bad. And my kind of qualm with reading them around last week was I could have read them, but I wouldn't have read like a lot, and I would have been stressed while reading them. And the thing with me is I want my first time reading her backlist to be the kind of time wherein I can devote myself, mind, body and soul towards reading her backlist, rather than worrying and panicking over things that I have to look after, other things on my plate. So now that all of that is done, let's just directly start with People We Meet on Vacation. I have gone ahead and finished this book, like I said, to no one's shock and surprise, 5 stars. We all saw that coming, but I still want to say it anyway, 5 stars. This is not as good as Beach Read, let me preface by saying that, but it's just a couple notches under, because Beach Read is the sort wherein I need it injected into my bloodstream, I need it in my soul. Sure, this isn't like it, but it's still a 5-star book, because truly nothing can top that book. But this is coming very close. I feel like Emily Henry, there's always something of hers that's always gonna stick with me, and at this point, she's running 2 for 2. So here we go. There's a lot I liked about this book, so I'm going to rapid fire through because I want to speak about the next one on her backlist as well. I started it. But for context now for this one, I really loved Alex and Poppy and their friendship and the whole dynamic between them. And then once it goes from friends to lovers, the whole romantic relationship, the slow burn, the pining, the tension, the banter, oh my god, that was top tier. Truly, this might be one of her most romance heavy books I've read, but the way it was handled was perfect with, other themes going on, other things in the background, because at the beginning, when they're still friends, everything's all right, but when they start seeing each other romantically, issues arise, and it shows you that adult relationships require work. They're messy, but they're still navigating it because they're meant for each other, they're meant to be together, and they're soulmates. Honestly, if you told me any of Emily Henry characters were real people across the street and they're like soulmates, I would believe you, because there's no one in this world more perfect for each other than Alex and Poppy, Gus and January. Truly the best time. Also, if you've heard the songs This Town by Niall Horan, so If the Whole World Was Watching, I'd Still Dance With You, 18 by One Direction, and You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. All 3 of those songs essentially could be combined and amalgamated to make this book, because that is the aesthetic. If you like any of those, pick this up because it's got like a summer vacation setting, all of that kind of love, and truly nothing cuts that deep to the bone the way Emily Henry does. And listen, you're probably gonna have such a great time. I genuinely don't understand if me and the internet read the same book, because a lot of people don't like this online, but surprisingly I'm not in the hater fan club. I'm genuinely in the fan club wherein wherein I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with anything Emily Henry does, and so this was a great time. Also, another thing I've noticed in her books is that she gives her main male characters these certain like quirks and traits that are specific to them only. So if you want to distinguish between Gus and Alex and now Charlie from the next one, you easily can because of the quirks she gives them, to the point where it's almost like an inside joke between you and the female main character, the reader and the female main character, to the point where you're connecting with the book. And it's such a great time because I feel like, it's just something that's always going to stick with you. Like, honestly, there's so much I'm going to remember specifically and not confuse it in my mind into this one blurry mess because of how she does it, and because of that it feels realistic, endearing and lovable. Like, honestly, I do not read for realism, I read for escapism, but the kind of romances even in these, there's this sort of like casual mundane things wherein it's the kind of love happening in the daily background, it's the kind of love happening in the simplest of things. Because can you imagine if there's a love in the simple things, can you imagine how much better it gets when it gets better and the times are happier and better or whatever. But like, I know I'm making no sense right now. Basically they're like everyday casual romances, but they're deeper than that. There's more emotional connect, and I really enjoy these because I love billionaire romances, don't get me wrong, but a guy gifting her a house or like a mansion or whatever to show his love is not realistic. And the way it's shown in these books, again, do not get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with those, but the way it's handled in these, I don't know why I connect with them and I enjoy them more deeper, and these are truly the kind of books I'll be thinking about for more years down the line. This, for context, definitely doesn't have a lot of emphasis on the wedding background like it was mentioned a couple of clips ago, because I believe I said that Alex's brother is getting married. There isn't a lot on that, but I really don't care because I stayed here for Poppy and Alex and their slow burn, their kind of soulmatey vibe, and I truly enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm already planning a reread now in the next month because I'll be going on vacation then, and so this is like the perfect book to take with me. If anyone would like to see like a whole video of me rereading her backlist, let me know. All the books in this video will basically get reread in a month, which is so crazy because I generally do not reread books, and the fact that I'm doing it in a month's time for one specific author, her backlist, just goes to say that, listen, these connect with me in a way no other book ever has. I don't think I've ever felt that way, so I'm really excited for when her new book comes out at the end of this month, because I know I didn't say it yet, but it's actually the month of April right now, and at the end of the month we are getting treated to a new Emily Henry book. That is my Super Bowl. I'm a huge fangirl and I'm so excited and down to read it. Genuinely cannot wait. But until then, I have gone ahead and picked up Book Lovers. I did start it a couple nights ago, but then I decided I'm gonna put it down until I'm free and actually can devote myself, which was a great idea because I'm loving it now. Before I came to record this clip, I wanted to read like a chapter or so that I could come and tell you the premise of Book Lovers, because I genuinely don't know anything. However, I ended up sitting down, binge reading 100 pages in one sitting. That just goes to say there's truly nothing like it, and then I had to put it down just now to come speak to you on the clip, because let's be real, I could potentially just sit down and finish this in one sitting and not even care about it, because this is making me feel feelings I've never felt before, and I don't mind sitting and binging it, but also I want to give mid check-in updates, which is why I'm here anyway. I did manage to reach chapter 10, so quite a bit of progress has been made. I'm on page 116, which is great. And so the premise of this book is essentially, it follows Nora. She's like a cutthroat shark or whatever in the literary world. She's very work driven. She's like a professional woman, except that really isn't appreciated in society because she's a woman. She's supposed to show emotions and sentiments, and because she doesn't show any of those, she's being labeled a bitch. So no one really likes her or likes working with her, and things at work are stressing her out. She's not having the best time. Things with her sister, her relationship is also a little strained. So when the chance comes up, she and her sister actually go to this place called Sunshine Falls. Now for background on it, her work rival is this guy called Charlie Lastra. He's like the Midas of the book world. He's like a book editor, wherein a few chapters ago when he was called Midas, they essentially described him as this man wherein any manuscript he touches turns to gold because he's that good of doing his job or whatever. So at the beginning there's kind of like this clash between the two of them, wherein he rejects one of her clients' work, and so she considers him her enemy or whatever. And now fast forward 2 years when things are strained with her sister's relationship or whatever. The context with this is the book that he rejected actually ends up becoming a bestseller, and it's set in that place called Sunshine Falls. So her sister loves that book. They end up taking a vacation to visit the place, Sunshine Falls, and while they're at it, it's like the perfect romantic setting, except instead of running into other men that she can potentially look forward to starting a relationship with, getting romantically involved with, she keeps running into Charlie Lastra. So there's like tensions in the background. There's stuff they can't do or whatever. They cannot get involved because they both work in the literary world, and they could literally just take themselves down. They could cause scandal. There's other the things she doesn't like him, but then she's starting to reevaluate her photo of him or whatever. There's the whole background. There's a lot of themes explored in this, and already, I'm gonna say it, this is already better than People We Meet on Vacation. Don't get me wrong, this is still 5 stars for me, but the way the banter in this is making me giggle every 2 pages, I love every second. And truly, listen, there's nothing like a good old Emily Henry slow burn. That's what I want in my real life, because the way it's happening in this book, I'm a goner for both Nora and Charlie, because I'm obsessed with their dynamic. I'm obsessed with the way they talk to each other and kind of go back and forth. Like, it's so fun. And also, for context, I don't think I mentioned it, but Nora, you know how there's these Hallmark movies wherein the guy, he kind of is like this city jerk or whatever, and his firm sends him to a small town to kind of take down the small town business, except the guy falls in love with the girl who's, you know, running the business or whatever, and he ends up staying in the small town, changing his city ways or whatever. So just picture one of those Hallmark movies. Picture the guy, and the guy, when he goes back to the city, he always has like a city girlfriend who's like snobbish and like bitchy or whatever. That's basically Nora. Nora is the city girlfriend. So her idea of love is cute because her boyfriends always leave her for the small town aesthetic or whatever. So now that she's going to Sunshine Falls, trying to figure out what's up with the small town, what's up with the hype, you know, there's all that going on in the background too. And if you picture all of this, it's very grumpy, but I'm loving every second of it as well. And so also because of all of that, they are an unlikely couple, because let's be real, if all of this has been happening to Nora in the background, can she really get with Charlie? Does it really make sense? And you know, that's also such like a good fun old time. One last little update I'm gonna give to you. I personally believe Nora and I are cut from the same cloth, because the way I relate to this woman is unmatched. I don't think I've related as deeply to any other Emily Henry character, which, do not get me wrong, I love January, I love Poppy, I love the other guys or whatever, but the way I'm, you know, connecting to Nora is on this like emotional soul deep level, because there's so many things she says that, you know, in relation to society, in relation to context, in relation to behaviors, I guess. I don't know why I'm relating to. I'm loving every second, and it's cutting really deep. I'm gonna give you an example. At the beginning, one of her boyfriends breaks up with her and she doesn't show a lot of emotion. So there's this whole speech about how society isn't really fair to women. There's no, you know, good way of being a woman, because if you wear your heart out on your sleeve and you show your emotions, you're too sentimental. And if you don't show anything, you keep it locked away and hidden, then you're a bitch because you don't have any emotions. And the way it's described, like, there's so much about it already. 100 pages in, I don't think I've felt this way with anything else. It's still not as close to Beach Read, do not get me wrong, because listen, that's like my soul book, but it's coming really close. It's like 1 notch below. If People We Meet on Vacation is 2 notches below. And so, having such a great time, I'm gonna go continue reading, and I'll see you guys in a bit. One last thing, and I promise this is the last one before I go. This video, I actually was supposed to film it 2 weeks before I actually sat down to film it. So the day I started filming, I was actually supposed to start recording this video 2 weeks before that, but that never happened because I wanted to have all books physically. And if you've looked at like my bookshelf videos, my TBR videos, my haul videos or whatever, you will have seen that I have every single one of Emily Henry's books on her backlist except this one, her adult, like, I guess romances, but they're also women's fiction with a subplot of romance that feels like a main plot sometimes. I don't know, I'm going off topic. But basically, for no specific reason, I did not have this book, and so, you know, placed an order for it, because let's be real, it's called Book Lovers. I'm a book lover, you're probably a book lover watching this channel, so it made sense to have it physically. And I'm so happy with my decision, because this is the kind of jewel I want on my trophy shelf, my bookshelf. But the problem is, it took 2 weeks to kind of deliver because it got delayed. Wow, ignore the sudden light change. But apart from that, what also went wrong is that the 2 weeks it took extra to be delayed, it came damaged. So here we are. I'm not sending it back because number one, I really want this book, and number two, that's not good for the environment, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. But can I take a second to vent, because they sent it late and they sent it damaged, which is annoying. So I'm gonna move on anyway, but I just wanted to talk about that really quick, and that's the whole reasoning as to why this took so long to film. Hopefully by the time it comes out, it's worth the wait. But regardless, I'm gonna get to my book now because story time's over. I just want to read, and so I'm gonna go do that because I've been dying to do this for the past week when I've been busy. So now that I finally have the time, I can basically do everything I want, which basically means curling up in my bedroom, getting comfortable, picking an Emily Henry book up. It's a little gloomy outside, but that's alright because I don't even care. I'm gonna be transported to Sunshine Falls for the next couple hours, finish this book out, and come speak to you about it. So far, so good. Loving everything about the dynamic, and I'll see you guys in a bit when I can officially come and tell you that this is another 5-star book, because I can't give Emily Henry anything less. It's perfection, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so it's the next night. I actually did end up sitting down, locking in, getting all my attention focused, absolutely zero distractions since the last time I spoke to you yesterday afternoon, not been a week. I did sit down, I did continue Book Lovers, and I finished it like 4 in the morning yesterday. Today, I don't really know what you'd call it, but I wanted to sit down, take all of today to just kind of process my thoughts on this book before I give you final opinions, because I felt a lot from this book. I felt everything, and so I want to have it all in place and I want to have it all processed before I come, talk about it, because this is so close to my heart, it's so close to my soul. I want to do it the justice of giving it time, and so I did take it out to do so. Things I loved about this book. Before anything, it was 5 stars for me, to no one's surprise and shock. At this point, every book I've read in this video is 5 stars. Emily Henry can do literally no wrong. She's like my favorite author in every adult contemporary romance, or is it gonna be women's fiction? Whatever she writes, it's gonna be 5 stars for me. This, again, it wasn't as good as Beach Read, because listen, nothing's ever gonna top this book. If a book was your soulmate, this would be it for me. But this was like half a notch, not even like a notch, just under Beach Read, because let's be so real, it could have overtaken Beach Read. I feel like if I give it more time and sit on it, maybe it will. If I give it a reread, it probably definitely will, because so much about this resonated so deeply with me that I want to talk about it. I feel like even when I was talking about People We Meet on Vacation, I said that the characters in it felt so like soulmatey and their love was so beautiful, and I'm just going to repeat them here again. I feel like Emily Henry, she just devises such characters that are so perfect for each other that you can imagine no one else. Like, I'm just gonna say it, I know they're specifically supposed to be romantic interests for this book anyway, but Nora and Charlie, there's no one better in this world for each other than themselves. And I'm just gonna say, the way this woman does it is unmatched. They're so perfect, they're so soulmatey. I feel like they have this competitive kind of love wherein everything's a sort of competition, but it works for them, and that just makes it even more beautiful and enjoying, because I feel like the merriment that you get from this book, you wouldn't have necessarily gotten that entertainment value without the banter or the slow burn romance or the tension, and the way it's handled with other different topics. It just feels very slice of life, even though it has like a certain plot it follows, because you're watching the character not just navigate with her romance, but also there's other things going on, and I feel like that just makes you connect to these people on such like a soul deep emotional level. That is just truly the best experience ever, because now these characters are forever gonna live as a piece of my heart within me, like for the rest of my life. The way they were so perfect for each other, I'm just gonna say it, one of my favorite book covers ever. This book beats 95% of the other books I've given 5 stars, and that's quite the ratio. So now I'm gonna go reevaluate my whole life and every decision I've made up to the point of reading this book, because I'm just gonna say it hit, and I loved every second. This made me feel everything, and by everything I mean it was so hard hitting that I was crying at 4 in the morning over people that do not exist on little ink on paper, which is wild. And I love how books make you feel that way sometimes you connect so soul deep and so emotionally with a book that it's just everything, and that was the feeling I got from reading this book. There were times when I was reading this book wherein I literally had the whole vivid sensation and thought as I was reading that, listen, there's truly nothing like it. I don't think I'm ever going to peak in a video than this one specifically, because I felt the whole spectrum at this point. I felt so, warm and so much love in my heart for them. My heart feels heavy and full of everything, honestly, for these characters, and the way this woman makes you feel in her books is unmatched. It needs to be scientifically studied, because I'm such a fangirl at this point, I don't even care. But these are my favorite kinds of books ever. I feel like you just connect to the characters on such like a different level that you don't really get in other books wherein it's just with different topics, because these combine so many different things together. There's mature themes, there's adulthood and like family and dealing with other stuff, with the sort of beacon of hope that is the romance. And I feel like that's the kind of light we need in this world currently as readers, because this, I'm just gonna say it again, like I've said every single time in this video, hit. I loved it. I feel like at this point, if you've never read like an Emily Henry book before and you're hearing me talk about it, it's just like an experience you need to go find out for yourself, because there's truly nothing like it. Every word I will use to describe will still do it injustice, because there's nothing like it. You just need to go figure it out for yourself before you can kind of make like a standpoint on it, because these are the sort of books wherein if they connect with you, they're gonna be the best books you'll have ever read in your lifetime, like 6-7 star reads. But if you don't really connect with them, they could potentially also be the worst kind of books you've ever read. So it's different ends of the spectrum, but I feel like for me personally, would read this woman's grocery list, because I feel like her books are such an experience. Every sentence in them is so exquisitely crafted that there's truly nothing like it. They feel like gems, honestly, that you're being blessed And this world is just better with Emily Henry books in it. I feel like this book specifically, it's for the older sisters, and me personally, I am the older sister. I have a younger sibling, so there's a lot I was able to relate to with this. And then not just that, it's also for the book lovers and the hopeless romantics, wherein we all as like a group of readers collectively come in. There's a lot you can relate to in it, and there's deeper topics as well, but the way they explored so maturely, again, it shows that an adult relationship needs the work and it's messy, but once you do it, it could be the most self-fulfilling, satisfying thing you'll ever have. And truly, the way Emily Henry's books specifically make me feel about life once I'm done reading them is just amazing. I cannot wait to reread these because these are the best ones I've ever read. I feel like it was personally like a curated love letter to my taste specifically, and it's going to appeal to a bunch of audiences. Honestly, her books deserve more hype than they get, and I know they're really popular in themselves, but I feel like still it needs to reach more of like a group of readers, because these are the sort of books where once you read them, you're gonna be a reader for life, because these are the kind of experiences and emotions I want to feel while I read. And the way these do it, this just keeps reminding me every single day why I fall in love with reading over and over again, because of her book specifically, and the kind I hope to read more of sometime in my life. But yeah, we're done with the review now. And another couple things that I wanted to discuss, I actually found out that she has a newsletter. So when I said I would read her grocery list, she literally got one. That's her newsletter, which I signed up for immediately. Listen, I need all the updates. And once I did, I was looking at her website. Apparently she had like an extra like epilogue wherein it follows all the characters of these books, but in the perspective of beach read characters, which is perfect for me, because listen, beach read is the best thing I've ever read in my lifetime. So I actually went ahead and read this afternoon while I was thinking on my thoughts for book lovers. And this had the perfect cameos of all characters from all books, but it also showed you more of beach read and what happens after, and giving them more of like a happy ending. And can I quickly just say, I ate it up. That was perfect. It made me feel everything, and I had such a great time. Also, when you're reading these books, I would recommend you read them in the publication order. So starting from beach read, people we meet on vacation, and then book lovers, because it comes up with like certain Easter eggs of previous books, and it's really fun to come across them, because like it feels almost like you have like a connection to the multiverse or whatever, wherein once you're figuring that out, it feels like you've unlocked like a cool gem. And listen, always adding to that collection of gems, because I loved every second. Every time one would come up, I would literally just be giggling, putting the book down, running in laps, because yes, these make me feel that deeply. However, now I think I'm going to end the video here. Now, before anyone, jumps at me for the fact that I'm doing that, I have a whole list of reasons, so we can quickly run through them before we continue. While I originally did say I was going to read Happy Place and Funny Story in this video, I am going to put it off now, because I feel like me as a person, like I'm enjoying these books so much to the point where once I'm done reading her entire backlist, I'm just gonna say it, I'm gonna crash out so hard and so bad that I'm probably gonna be in a reading slump for the rest of the year, and I can already see it coming, which is why I kind of want to preserve these books and get to them slowly. Because if I am to read these books right now to continue this video out, it's not bad or anything, and I would love to do that. I honestly am looking forward to the day I can sit down and continue reading them. I literally put my bookmark in Happy Place to mark the beginning or whatever, so I can get into it. But the thing is, I need to preserve them so I know I have Emily Henry content ready for me, so I don't slump out, because April 21st I believe is the day her new book comes out, and that still feels very far away from right now, the beginning of April. And so I desperately want to have some content still ready to binge until the new book comes out, and then I can read it all in one go then. So I'm going to hold out. I want to kind of conserve it. I want to kind of not splurge through her content, because if I do that, I won't have any more Emily Henry books left to read for the first time, and that's really going to hurt. Plus, another different thing that's happening is that I need to be posting tomorrow night, because it's Sunday and I don't have any other video to post, so I need to desperately get this video out. And to do that, if I had to binge read these two, like I wouldn't mind, but I wanted to take my time going through them. And if I was to binge read these two by tonight so I can have it all ready to edit and post tomorrow, that would be crazy. It would be very stressful, and I don't think I would get to enjoy them the way I want to. Also, on a separate note, I am starting something new on the channel next week, and so I want to have my head clear and have like a couple days before I actually start that out. And so a lot of factors are coming into play here. Another different thing is that when I was speaking about all three of these books, I don't know exactly how much it is, but I looked at the raw footage for this video. I think it's between like 45 and 50 minutes without my current update, so that's already huge. And I don't know if I'm really getting it out tonight or tomorrow, because I need to really edit a whole bunch for it. I have a lot of raw footage that just isn't workable or whatever, because I definitely take pauses while I talk. And so all of that coming into play, I have a lot on my plate right now, and I would rather have my mind free, like I said, to fully like spend mind, body and soul devouring these books, rather than worrying and kind of getting it done to like meet a deadline for a video or whatever, which is not really that fun. However, there's like a silver lining to all of this, the fact that if I'm saving Happy Place and Funny Story to be read in a part 2 of this, so this is going to be part 1 of reading Emily Henry's Backlist to Feel Emotions. Part 2, I can literally just wait until the end of the month because, like I said, April 21st feels a little too far away to kind of wait for the next book and have nothing else to read in the middle. I can literally just wait for the new book to come out, and then we can combine all 2 of these and then, you know, the next one as well to kind of make a video. So I have like a specific video to read that in and kind of gush over these as well, because I remember the year I actually got back into reading was the year this book was published. And while I have seen hype for the rest of her backlist, I watched in real time this book getting published and taking the world by storm. So I know I'm excited, and my, you know, hopes are sky high. Expectations are through the roof for this because of her past work and all the hype I've been seeing. And so I want to read it really bad. It's got second chance trope, I believe. That's the only thing I really know. And it's set in a beach house, so that feels like perfect timing. And then also another really vain thing is, if I amalgamate these 2 books and the new one when it comes out in the end of April or whatever, that's also going to be around the time I go on vacation. So in a month's time, in May, I'm actually going on vacation, which feels perfect to me because that means I can literally just binge these 2 and the new book, which is literally set, you know, during summertime to be enjoyed in nice weather in a beach house with like emotional depth. It's gonna be so fun because it's perfect to read while I'm on vacation. So I really want to save them and enjoy them then. And so I think that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, because again, perfect lining with the new release. And also another really vain thing is the fact that this height of these 3 paperbacks is smaller than these 2, and that's because I got these in publishing week. So when I get the next one, it'll be in publishing week, it'll be the same height, and it'll feel aesthetically pleasant in the video because they all line up. Again, that's really vain, but that's where my mind went, so here we are. But so that's it for this video. I cannot wait to see you guys in a month's time for part 2 of it, when I record my reactions and thoughts for Happy Place, Funny Story and Great Big Beautiful Life when it comes out later this month. That's truly the most exciting book I've been looking forward to all year round. I would sell my kidney just to get an early copy, even though it comes out in like a couple weeks now, because yeah, it's gonna break me. I know it's like supposed to be Beach Read X Book Lovers, which is perfect because those 2 so far are my favorite books by her. If I were to rank the books we read in this video, this is probably gonna be my ranking: Beach Read, Book Lovers and People We Meet on Vacation. However, all are 5 stars. This one's 6, best one I've ever read. So I feel like this video did accomplish its mission. I did feel like a bunch of emotions, even though I hardly gave you updates, and when I did, it was huge ass rants like this one. So regardless, that's it for today's huge reading vlog, I suppose. If you guys had a fun time coming along with me, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them, and I'll see you hopefully very soon for that new thing I'm starting on my channel. And then hopefully very soon in that, like a month later, when I start to record my videos for these, because I'm so beyond excited. I've heard such great things about this one, and in this one I've heard the guy Miles, he's supposed to be like Nick Miller from New Girl, who's my favorite, I guess, TV character ever. So cannot wait to get to these, and when I do, you guys will see the vlog of it coming up again, like I said, in a month's time, really soon. So not a lot of time, and I can't wait. I'm really anticipating that, and I'll see you then. Till then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm so happy you guys came along with me on this journey to find my best books ever at this point. And so see you guys in a little bit to find more amazing books when I do the next part. And so thanks for watching. See you soon. Take care and bye.